Hi, I'm Ryan Szymanski, curator for Battleship New Jersey Museum and Memorial. And today we've got a video that's going to cover two short topics, both about the American intervention in Grenada, neither one of which I thought was long enough to make its own video about, but both of them are pretty cool. And we're in the Battleship recording studio where we are using our state-of-the-art green screen superimposing technology to show you a map of the world here on the wall to point out some of the stuff that we're going to need for this video. For the first half of this, we have a really cool artifact from the collection. And this is not green screen, this is an actual piece of paper here from the 1980s. This was donated to the museum by Commander Mike Holmes, who served on board the battleship during her 11-month deployment to Lebanon. He was one of the officers in the wardroom at that time. So, this sheet says, remain indoors, tune to radio frequency 1580 for further guidance and information. Your Caribbean neighbors and the United States have come to Grenada to restore peace and order and ensure your safety. This is one of the leaflets that was being handed out during the American intervention in Grenada. Battleship New Jersey was not there, so it's really cool to have an artifact from that time period here at the museum to show off. Commander Holmes, who again was on the battleship in the Mediterranean during the Grenada operation. Grenada is down here off the coast of Venezuela, relatively close to Barbados and St. Lucia and Trinidad and Tobago. So it's in that southern, eastern part of the Caribbean basin. And Battleship New Jersey, of course, is over here in Lebanon. That star there's for the capital of Beirut. So we're doing donuts off the coast over here. But New Jersey and the Marines there were supposed to get replaced. Remember, New Jersey has already done her entire deployment and rushed over there because it was a hot spot. And New Jersey is supposed to be replaced by another Marine amphibious unit, a surface action group built around USS Guam, except that group gets diverted to Grenada. They're there for most of October, November, and then they do actually come out and swap out the Marines that are there. But everything's in flux during this time period. So Commander Holmes has a really great line about how he kept this as a reminder of how they had to be flexible, why they were stuck over there for 11 months, because there are other things going on in the world that's preventing ships from getting to where they're supposed to be to relieve other ships. Commander Holmes is the current president of the Battleship New Jersey Veterans Association. So if you are a veteran of the battleship or interested in supporting the Veterans Association, we'll leave a link for them in the description below. They have memberships if you're a veteran. I think they have associate memberships for if you're just an interested party. While they are not officially associated with the museum, obviously, as the veterans of the ship, they still have an interest in the museum and do participate with us a lot, including answering Libby and I's questions at like midnight, which Commander Holmes did earlier this week.
Now, in these past several days, violence has erupted again in Lebanon and Grenada. In Lebanon, we have some 1,600 Marines, part of a multinational force that's trying to help the people of Lebanon restore order and stability to that troubled land. Grenada was without a government, its only authority exercised by a self-proclaimed band of military men. I ordered a flotilla of ships then on its way to Lebanon with Marines, part of our regular rotation program, to circle south on a course that would put them somewhere in the vicinity of Grenada in case there should be a need to evacuate our people. Last weekend, I was awakened in the early morning hours and told that 6 members of the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, joined by Jamaica and Barbados, had sent an urgent request that we join them in a military operation to restore order and democracy to Grenada.
For the second part, Battleship New Jersey earned 19 battle stars. She's 1 away from tying Enterprise, so if she had gotten 1 more engagement in the 1980s, she would have been there. could Grenada have been that engagement? So let's look at if, with hindsight, we can see if New Jersey can both get in action off Grenada and still participate in the Lebanese Civil War, where she has to earn some of her battle stars to get up to the 19 number that she's currently at. Because the timing is real close. Like we said before, New Jersey arrives off the coast of Lebanon on September 25th. The invasion of Grenada starts on October 25th, just 1 month later. It takes Battleship New Jersey about 20 days to transit from Panama to Lebanon. For this deployment, Battleship New Jersey starts out at her home port of Long Beach. From there, she travels over and does a Westpac, which is in the vicinity of the Philippines, Hong Kong, that area. Her roughly 4-month shakedown cruise is ending, and she's recalled back for service off the coast of South America. So her Westpac turns into an Eastpac, and then the Lebanese Civil War starts to become more of an issue. And so she transits the Panama Canal on September 5th, and by September 25th, 20 days later, she arrives off the coast of Lebanon. Most of that cruise she does at 27 knots. However, there is a period of time where she's doing 15 knots because Captain Fogarty is relieved by Captain Mulligan during this time period. That sort of stuff was still happening on schedule, even though the ship was underway. 27 knots is a reasonable speed. The battleship can get up to 33 knots, or maybe even a little higher at max speed, but 27 knots, considering she's already 4 or 5 months into a deployment, and you don't want to burn out the entire engineering crew and everything. So 27 knots is a reasonable speed. 20 days is probably a reasonable number to go around the world like that. So, Battleship New Jersey arrives off the coast of Lebanon on September 25th. She's not going to make it back home to Long Beach until May 5th of the following year. In New Jersey and the other ships there and the Marines ashore were expecting to be relieved by a Marine Expeditionary Unit centered around USS Guam. Well, Guam ends up getting peeled off for the Grenada operation, and so she doesn't show up until several months later, which by that point things have happened in Lebanon, and some folks are retained on station, some folks are traded out. So, October 19th is the date that the legally elected leader of Grenada is killed. That's the date at which the Reagan administration starts planning an operation off Grenada. They managed to launch this operation just 6 days later, including readily deployable assets that the United States already has near the East Coast, and a small coalition of Caribbean countries that participates as well. If it takes 20 days to get from Panama to Lebanon, there's no way in 6 days Battleship New Jersey can get back. However, if Battleship New Jersey gets over here on September 25th, the ceasefire is declared, and New Jersey starts to transit back towards Panama, she can get to Grenada on time. That's 20 days at maximum speed. She probably isn't going to come back at maximum speed. So by the 19th, she would actually be in more or less the right area. She can do donuts there for 6 days, waiting for the rest of the American forces to get together for the October 25th operation. Now, more of the problem is, even though the ceasefire is declared on September 23rd, the Beirut barracks bombing happens on October 23rd, which is 4 days after the coup in Grenada kicks off U.S. efforts, but 2 days before the actual American intervention in Grenada happens. The American intervention lasts 8 days, from October 25th until November 2nd. So assuming New Jersey gets over here, she's told she's not needed, she's coming home, she participates in Grenada until the middle of November, and then transits over alongside USS Guam, she will still get there prior to December 14th when she first fires her guns. By then, you do not want to know what the gas bill is the ship has incurred, and you might want to be worried about the crew committing a mutiny on being yo-yoed back and forth in a complete wrong ocean from where their ship is supposed to be deployed. But New Jersey could, in theory, still earn the battle star she gets for being in the Middle East during the Lebanese Civil War, and a battle star for participating in operations off the coast of Grenada. Obviously, none of this happened. New Jersey is here during the Beirut barracks bombing and is not pulled off station to come back to Grenada. And even if that had have happened, it would have been really wild for the ship to get there and then turn around with enough time to get back to Grenada. In theory, had she not made it over there yet and still been operating somewhere else, she could have participated in Grenada and still made it over to Lebanon in time. But again, that's still making some major alterations to history. At that point, it might be easier to bring New Jersey over to Panama, or keeping her around an extra couple of months to participate in the Gulf War. At the end of the day, even though the Reagan era saw the United States getting involved in a tremendous number of conflicts, New Jersey's participation in the Lebanese Civil War is the only time an Iowa-class battleship gets involved in a conflict during the Reagan administration. And it'll be the last time the Battleship New Jersey fires her guns in anger. But if you could change history, what is another war, intervention, combat action that you would send New Jersey to during her career to get that last battle star? Let us know in the comment section down below. Battleship New Jersey receives operating support from the New Jersey Department of State, also from a number of other businesses and private individuals. In particular, for this episode, we'd like to thank the Battleship New Jersey Veterans Association for supporting the museum. You can support us by liking, sharing, and subscribing so more people find out about the museum and our channel. Thanks for watching. Grenada is